So let me show you how I'm going to solve my rabbit problem getting in these earth boxes. Appreciate all the suggestions, and especially appreciate those of you that have had experience and told me that yes, a rabbit will in a heartbeat jump up there and get this lettuce and get this those greens and stuff. So my wife actually is the one that made the suggestion. So guys, listen to your wives on occasion. On occasion, listen to your wives. She said, why don't you just put a hot wire around it? So, y'all know I love me a hot wire. And so it didn't really take a whole lot of encouragement for me to decide to do that. So, let me show you exactly how it's, the components of it. First of all, of course, the component is a hot wire fence charger. This is a Farm Tech. I think I can move it without messing anything up. Farm Tech. It's a solar. It's all in one. It's got a battery. I just bought a new battery for it. I haven't put it in service. I bought a new battery for it, but I had not put it in service. So man, this is perfect for this. This is the south. So in the summertime, the sun is kind of a south tracking. So perfect to point that toward the south, let that catch all the southern sun and keep this thing charged. So the components are rebar, that is 3/8 rebar. It's about an 18-inch piece. I've got it in the ground about 6 inches or so. And then I've got these insulators that I have painted because I just want it to look a little prettier. So I went ahead and painted. You can see some of the yellow paint kind of coming off on it where I've rubbed it a little bit, but they're normally bright yellow, and I just thought that would be a little tacky out here when just a little spray paint would take care of that. So I painted them yellow. I painted them green, and again, there's some yellow showing through, and I'll show you how that works, where you screw this on to the rebar and can move it up and down and set it at the height you want it to be. So what I decided to do is put it about this bottom wire is about 6 inches off the ground. The next wire is about 12 inches. So it's about 6 inches, 6-inch gap in between. I don't see any way a rabbit can get in those earth boxes. And I've got it on the back side too. I've got all this on the back side, running down the back side too. I don't see any way a rabbit could, I don't know. I don't know how crafty they are. Elmer Fudd had lots of problems with them, I know that. But I don't see any way a rabbit can jump up into that earth box without getting bit. Without getting shocked. So I think I've got it covered. Again, it goes all the way around. The hot wire goes all the way around and around on the back side, pretty close to the other fence. Now this fence they could get through, obviously, because it's not a rabbit fence or chicken wire. But I just don't see any way they could get up and get in there. I know they could jump up in there, but before they jump up in there, they're going to come up and see what's going on, and they're going to sniff and whatever. And if they get too close, they're going to get bit. So I think this will keep them out of there. I've got a dog that also, he won't do much to keep rabbits and stuff out, but he does like to get into things. I know this will stop him from getting in them too. So let me show you the components of this and how you actually fix this. Just a simple fence to construct, and I've used hot wires for years, and I've got hot wires running elsewhere. I just love the hot wire. It's just so easy to put up. You know, if you got small kids, you may not want to do something like this right in your yard. And this one doesn't shock near as much as my other ones do. Let me show you what I've got here. This is my fault finder. And by the way, if you've got electric fence, you need this fault finder. If you have a problem, if your fence is showing real low, then you know you got a short in it. You know you got a wire touching the ground or touching the fence or something, and you can click on this and hang it on there like that, and it'll tell you. Right now I don't have any faults, but if you did, it would show like a 13 amp fault, 13, and it'll point you in the direction. It'll tell you where the fault is, and you just find it. So push the button, put that on there, and it tells you I am running almost 7,000 volts, 6.8, that's kilovolts there. So some of the other chargers I have run 10 and 11,000, which is real good for cows and sheep and stuff, but I think 7,000 volts should be good for a rabbit. Now, that sounds like a lot to you, I'm sure, 7,000 volts. 7,000 volts is, it's all about the amperage. In this case, it's called, in a case of an electric fence, it's called joules. And the joules on this, I'll have to look it up and see exactly what it is. This is a low impedance, but it's the joules is what actually administers the shock, or it's what tells you how hard the shock is going to be. And so it's not the volts. Don't let the volts scare you. It's joules. But anyway, I rounded the corner here. I'll show you the insulators in just a minute, a little closer up. But what I did was come in here and I just wrapped it around there, rounded the corner, made sure I had it tied off good that when I stretch it that way, it's not going to pull loose, and rounded the corner same way. I'm being real careful not to touch that, by the way. I should just turn it off so I can point it to you. And round the corner here, wrap it around there, and then go that way. And just did that on all four corners, and then in the middle, I just ran it through like you would normally do anyway. Just ran it through the insulators, and just to keep them separate and keep them, from sagging. And that's why the only reason I put one in the middle. So here are the components to it, and it couldn't be any more simple. The middle wire is held by this, which has two parts to it, two pieces. And what you do is, here's the rebar, 3/8 rebar. You just slide that down on there like that and cinch it down on there, which means you can move this up or down. I can move it higher or lower, tighten it back down, and that works out great. And then this is the top piece. Again, gives you a lot of safety. And it might not hurt to leave them. If I'm out in the field, I'm leaving them yellow like this because I want to be able to see them from a distance anyway. But and that just sits right on top and turns any way you want to turn it. And so that's basically my setup right there. So we're looking at the front of the fence charger right now. It's got a convenient switch on it right there to turn it on and off. So company comes or kids are out or something like that, you can always turn it off. You may want to just leave it off during the day and turn it back on at night. I may start doing that, not sure. But for right now, it's working well. And I'm going to turn it off because I'm going to point out some stuff. You can hear it clicking. And it pulses about every second. So I'm going to turn that off. But all you need is a ground rod and some wire and some little posts with these insulators on them. And I'm telling you, it's just too easy. This is again the back side. This is the back side that I was showing you a while ago. And I've got this fence over here where my chickens can't get through, but the rabbits obviously could. So I've got the hot wires on the back side too. So that's my charger. And again, this is my first time to use it, but I just haven't needed it. But it's going to be the thing. I mean, it's going to be, especially for remote locations. Take a ground rod with you, drive it in the ground, and you're ready to go. That's all you need. This is built, everything's built in. Solar panel, so, a battery inside, a 6-volt rechargeable battery. And I got the battery on Amazon for like 30, 40 bucks. And I'm in business because that was given to me. Anyway, I'll put a link to this, the PowerMax charger on Amazon. I'll put a link to the insulators. Now again, they're going to be yellow. Mine were painted green, but the insulators work real well if you're doing some temporary fencing. They work real well if it's not temporary. If you're going to leave it up for a long time, it doesn't really matter. I think this will work. Good hot wire. Turn it back on, listen to it click, and you can see that gauge right there is pegged out. It is pegged out. So that means it is cranking it out. So I'm loving it. I think it's gonna work. If it doesn't work, I'll show you. I'll show you I was wrong, but I think that hot wire is gonna keep them off and keep my dog off too. All right, I believe we're gone.